Hey guys, what's up? I am here to go through my high school times. And in the last video that we had that wasn't about specifically my runs and such, we went over my middle school track times. Now we're gonna go over my high school track times, which are much more filled in. I think there was more meets, period, and also more of them. All of them, I'm pretty sure, are on athletic.net, if I'm remembering correctly. So, start out with our first meet. My first high school meet was the Kimberly Spring Opener. I was an idiot in my freshman year and chose to do the 800, the 1600, and the 3200. Yeah, my advice, it's totally worth it. But at the same time, you got to be ready for it because it is challenging. So I did I got to remember, 3200 first. I did a 1240, amazing to me, right? That's an average of about 620 per 1600. So, definitely faster than seventh grade, though I'm sure I could run faster, I think. I don't remember actually. It was tough, though. Then we have the 800 is the next one in the order of events, right? We ran a 239, not bad. Okay, that's way faster than we were running back in middle school, like 20 seconds faster or so, right? Then our 1600 of 609, which we knew we could probably break 6 because I'm pretty sure we had broken 6 at state cross country. But, after having done a 3200 and an 800, it's a little different than the first mile of a 5K, right? And also, we were just a little tired out, right? Not used to doing so much. Then the next meet we had was Beaver Bulldog track meet, which I scratched the 8, 16, and the long jump, which I was going to do, because my grandpa took me to Moab. I left mid-meet, but I got the 3200, which I know this says 11:35. In reality, I ran in the 13th somewhere. I was not an 11:35 that day. I know I recorded it myself. So, yeah. Then after that, we went to the Jennifer Crystal meet in Murtaugh, Idaho. It was like a brand new track, if I remember right, or something like that. It was a good track though, and I know I enjoyed it, and we did, 13:05, so not my best time in the 32, but we still got a few more meets, right? So, as you can see, we do get a little better, and our 800 right around the same, and 1600 got under 6, because we knew we could. So. And then we just go on. You get 1240 at the next one for the 32 with an 800 of 240, a little slow, not bad though, and a 601 in the 16. Good. Yeah, then we go down to then we slow back down to the 32 to 1307. That's just a odd day, I think. I don't remember much about that day. We get a 238 in the 800. As well as the 550 and the 1600. Not bad. Then the next meet we do, we don't do the 3200 at it, which is a nice rest, right? So instead we start with the 800 and we go 233, just, casual 5-second PR, which I love this one because I actually was second in my heat. I love it just because I was ranked as second. I got beat by someone who wasn't actually ranked ahead of me, but I was leading the first 700 meters. It was amazing feeling until you get past in the last 100 on that 100-meter mark or so, right? But it was great. And a 1600, which I got a 554, so not terrible for me at this point. Then we get back into the 3200. The next one was a 1236, drop a few seconds. Nice. Just to go around the 800 in a nice 230. And the 1600, we don't do it that one, okay? It's been a while, okay, since I was a freshman. And then we get into then we go, yes, next would be Aberdeen, yes. No, we just did Aberdeen, yeah. Right? No, we just did Mount Andrews. Okay, yeah. So now we're at Aberdeen, where we start with the 32, which we don't do. So we just do the 16 and the 8, which our 8 is a 230. It's a nice PR at the time. And our 16, 539. Those were actually our best times in those two events that whole season. Then we get to districts, where we run the 8, 16, 32. We start out with the 32, and we PR it at the time with the 12, 11, 89. That was an amazing race. I was like with the pack like the first mile or so. I died after that, yes, but it totally helped me. Like this is some of these crazy fast runners in our district in that race, especially one kid who was just really insane, and so I was like right with them that first mile, and then I fell off, but it was bound to happen. Racing people way faster than me, right? Then the 800 to 231, not bad, not my best, but almost there. And the 1600 to 542, didn't think too much of it, just thought, okay, we'll get better next year. So then we can go over the next year where let me check really fast the time. Okay, yep. We might have to split this up. Okay, then we get to sophomore year. We go, okay, I'm not doing the 3200 this year. As you can see, we turned out to actually do the 3200, even though we said no. We wanted to do more mid-distance stuff. We didn't do the 400 at all, except for the 4x4. But so we start out with the first meet on the 800, nice 2:30 hand time. Not bad. Go 16, 5:41, about where we left off, not too far off. It was amazing, right? Then we go Reservoir Classic. It's the next one, yep, where we actually are put in the 3200 because there's not many people, so we put in there to get some points, right? And 12:52, we're like, oh, I'm dead. Come on, I just want to do it this year, And then we go to the 800, 2:37. Come on. It's freaking slow, right? We don't do the 1600 at that one because coach put us in the 4x4 because there was literally no competition. So we got to race with the girls team, which also had no competition. It was guaranteed win as long as we didn't get DQ'd. So it was great. I was third leg. Oh, man. One of only 2 times I've ever done a relay in track. It was so much fun. And so that 4:53. I know that's a little slow for a men's 4x4 team, right? But it beat the girls. And we were just going not to get DQ'd. And, I mean, this guy's a thrower. This guy's a thrower. This guy's a sprinter thrower a little bit. I can't remember exactly what he did, but, Then after the Reservoir Classic, we get to go to the Jennifer Crystal, I believe. Yep, Jennifer Crystal. We're avoiding the 3200 like the plague again. And so 800, nice, easy. 228, nice PR. So much fun. And then the 1600, we got a 533.9. Amazing PR, right? And then, of course, no 3200 for a bit. Then after that, we go to Grace again, right? Yeah, Grace. Oh, yeah. But I believe, just do the 800. So, and the 228.6. Amazing to be right with that PR, right? I know it's hand time, so it could be off a little bit. Then we get direct comm again. This time it's on Idaho State University's track, which is amazing. I love that track so much. And we run a 229. I can't remember. I want to say I tripped that day. Was that one? That year, I think? Maybe. Maybe not. Can't remember exactly. And then the 1600, we get a nice 542. Okay. And after that, we've got Fred Simpson. 228 in the 800. 536 in the 1600. Then we go to the Mount Andres, and the coaches are like, yeah, well, we're putting you in the 3200 again. And I'm like, what? Why? But so I go, I run it. I PR by quite a bit, around that 12:02. Amazing. And then I go and I run the 800 and 228. And I believe I left with my parents. And after that, we get the LC Bastion, and we're not in the 3200. It's amazing. There's a 227 800 and a 536 1600. Amazing times for me in that season, And then districts, they put me in the 3200, of course. And it's let me think. And it's a 12:14, which not my best, not my worst. Decent. It was pretty windy that day, and I was a windbreak. And the 800, I also ended up being a windbreak in, and 227:38. No, 240. It was also kind of a windbreak. It was not good conditions. We get to the 1600, and it's actually like I'm dead, right? So I'm like, okay, we're actually going to watch my cousin do some dance stuff that day afterwards because this meet was actually at her high school where her dance thing was. So, and with when it started, when I ran my 1600, pretty much it started while I was running my 1600. I had that motivating me, I guess, and I was like, I'm not gonna be a windbreak. Sat and kicked. Okay, I sat in second the first 3 laps. Went out the last lap and got a good chunk ahead of people. My mom probably has some video somewhere from that race. And I ran it, and I got 5:34.2, almost a PR. Almost. And it was pretty much a solo effort, honestly, other than that first 3 laps where I was just sticking with them. So that's amazing time for me.